Hey everyone, welcome back to WhoMeTalk. Today we're going to tackle a set of words that English learners ask me about all the time. Though, although, even though, despite, and in spite of. They all express contrast. Something is opposite to what you might expect. But when exactly do you use each one? And what's the difference between them? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when to use them, and you'll never hesitate again. Let's jump in. Part 1. Though, although, even though. The conjunction family. Let's start with though, although, and even though. These three are all conjunctions and they are used with clauses. Remember, a clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. They connect two ideas that contrast with each other. Now, the big question, what's the difference between though and although? Honestly, there's almost no difference in meaning. They're interchangeable in most situations. The only real difference is that though is slightly more informal and can be used at the end of a sentence. Although cannot end a sentence. Let me show you with the same sentences in different ways. Example 1. Although the exam was difficult, I think I did well. Example 2. I think I did well although the exam was difficult. Example 3. I think I did well though the exam was difficult. Example 4, the end position trick. The exam was difficult. I think I did well, though. In all these sentences, the meaning is the same. The only difference is formality. In formal writing, you wouldn't end a sentence with though, but in everyday conversation, it's perfectly natural. Even though, adding strong emphasis. Now, let's talk about even though. It also shows contrast, but it's much stronger. It emphasizes that the second part of the sentence is very surprising given the first part. Compare these two sentences. Although the exam was difficult, I did well. This is a normal contrast. Difficult exam, but I still did well. Fine. Even though the exam was easy, I failed. Wait, what? If it was easy, I should have passed. This result is shockingly different from the expectation. That's why we use even though. The contrast is dramatic. So use even though when you want to say, based on this fact, you would absolutely expect one thing, but something completely different happened. It's the emotional, emphatic version. Part 2. Despite and in spite of. The preposition team. Now let's move to despite and in spite of. These two mean exactly the same thing as although and even though, but they are prepositions, not conjunctions. So instead of a whole clause, subject plus verb, they are followed by a phrase, usually a noun, a pronoun, or a gerund, an ing verb used as a noun. And here's the crucial thing. Despite and in spite of have the exact same meaning. They are completely interchangeable. But never mix them up into something like in despite of or despite of. Those are mistakes. Let's see some examples. Despite his best efforts, the man just couldn't succeed. In spite of his best efforts, the man just couldn't succeed. Both mean he tried his best very, but he still failed. The contrast is there. Notice what comes after despite and in spite of. It's just his best efforts, a noun phrase, no subject and verb in that part. We can also use a gerund. Despite being on time to the lecture, we were not admitted. In spite of being on time to the lecture, we were not admitted. Here, being on time is a gerund phrase. It's the same as saying, although we were on time, but with a different structure. Comparing the two families, a key transformation. You can say, although he was tired, he finished the project. Now, using despite and in spite of, you can express the same idea like this. Despite being tired, he finished the project. Or, despite his tiredness, he finished the project. See the transformation? The clause, he was tired, becomes the phrase, being tired or his tiredness. That's the only structural difference. The meaning stays the same. Quick summary. Let's do a super quick recap. Though, although, even though, contrast, interchangeable. Though is slightly more informal and can end a sentence. Even though, strong, emphatic contrast when the second idea is very surprising. Despite and in spite of, prepositions followed by a noun phrase or gerund. Meaning is the same as although. Never mix them into despite of or in despite of. Structure: although, though, even though plus clause, subject plus verb. Despite and in spite of plus phrase, noun or gerund. Outro and challenge. Now you can confidently use these contrast words in your essays, conversations, and exams. No more confusion. Here's a challenge for you. In the comments, complete this sentence in 2 different ways, once with although and once with despite. Blank, the weather was terrible, we still went for a walk. Write your answers and I'll check them. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to WhoMeTalk for more English lessons that make things simple. I'm Wasifa, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!